Alrighty, we are live.
We're here.
We're here. We're here.
Hey.
We're here. Sorry, had a little lag on the the audio. Hopefully the audio didn't pick it up. But we are live. Amish. September is here. We talked about that last week. Playoffs are starting to shape up. How was your week?
Oh, busy. Started a new job. Feeling a little sore. Gotta stretch myself out a little bit and stuff, but so I can, get back in the shape of things. I guess everything will be okay. It's hard when you got 3 kids versus your 1, though. Not saying your job is any easier, really, but
No, I definitely think I got.
It's math, man.
I think I definitely got the easier job compared to you. I would be willing to agree to that for sure.
But you avoided the hurricane too. I see. That's good.
Yeah, I didn't hit the humble state of Alabama like our president Cheeto thought so. I don't live in
Canada somewhere now, I guess.
I don't live in Alabama, so. You hope who? Sorry, who?
I hope that guy up there in Toronto we used to know is okay.
Guy that ghosted us.
Yeah, we got a great race. Toronto's been involved in a lot of different things as far as, the Blue Jays this week, too, that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah,
Big
this...
video of the week involving them.
Absolutely. Coming up, we have our Twitter topics, our team news. Not a whole lot going on this week. This might be a shorter episode than normal. We're going to talk about...
September call-ups that have happened and stuff. Are you satisfied with the guys that came up to your Cubs? We'll talk more in-depth about that, of course, our teams, and how that's going. And
we give, in our personal opinion, the 5 worst pitchers of the year.
Oh, boy, that was a fun browse. We were kind of scrambling here. We'll be honest to come up with this kind of almost last second. But, I think we both got some good guys. It'll be interesting to compare notes when the time comes of games. We usually do that at the end. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, each of them are bad for their own reason. So.
Yeah. But, let's talk about those Twitter topics. And I think one of the interesting things that happened, and I know you sent me this one this week, and I just bookmarked it basically, is a Cincinnati Reds player is kind of turning into Babe Ruth.
Yeah, Michael Lorenzen, man. How about him?
Oh, what a guy. And now, did he make a really crazy catch again this week, too? Because I know he makes these crazy catches.
To be honest, I didn't see the play, but from what people were talking about on Twitter, it was pretty good. So I didn't get to see it.
But the first player since the Babe.
The Babe. Not the candy bar.
1921. Yeah. I don't like that hair. He's got that coconut. I hate coconut. 1921 was Babe Ruth. He earned the win as a pitcher. Played in the field. Probably outfield. I think he played right.
Yep.
And he hit a home run in that game as well.
Yeah. Doing it all.
Awesome.
It's a darn shame because he's not really, you look at his stats, he's not really a good pitcher, but he's a pretty good all-around player. Like, he makes these great plays in the outfield. He's a pitcher. He makes these great plays in the outfield, and then, he's been hitting these home runs in clutch moments, and I don't know, man. We're going to see what happens. I think it's, next year when that new rule takes effect about the position players.
You got to designate your guy for the roster, basically. I think it means you can also, option him as whatever he is and then call him up as the different thing. Mm-hmm. But, again, you'll have to designate it each time you call up a player, if they're going to be a batter or a pitcher.
That's one of my I want that to be one of my questions for the viewers this week, since you have a week to answer. Seeing how the rosters are going to expand to 26 men next year.
Right.
Who is your 26th guy?
Okay.
So,
if you did it today type of a thing. Yeah. I think I know who mine might be for the Twins. Latutuga.
Mr. Turtle guy. I'm still waiting for Meeks for the Cubs, so I want him to.
Oh, okay.
Or Meekies, or however you say him. Someone said his name was Meekies, and I'm like, that doesn't even sound right. Mickeys?
Yeah, I don't know.
So, let's see. What else do we have on Twitter? We are starting off with Twitter topics, by the way. I'm Amos, and that is Amish over there. So, our names are right here. So, learn to read right there. So, that is God Amish. Sorry. Do not smite me, Lord.
Baseball.
Still,
No, I don't know. Nobody
still
can
having
do
a brighter
it.
future than the Royals.
Well, the Tigers, or especially the
I
Royals.
think. Let me pull this up real quick. I just now thought about this. I think the Tigers are very close to losing 100 games. They're going to be the first team this year.
Be first 100, really? They gonna beat the Orioles as far as 100 losses?
Oh yeah, yeah. Let me see. Let me check that out real quick. It's close. Baltimore's 46 and 95. The Tigers are 42 and 98.
Oh my! I had no idea.
There you go.
Well, congratulations, Baltimore. You're not going to be the entire trash of the league.
They are not the trash of the league.
Amazing. Hysteria is going to be happy.
Hey, it's improvement. Despite all the clubhouse explosions. Right, so Michael Lorenzen, first player since, as you said, Babe Ruth to get a win.
Now, he had Red Sox. Is it a Red Sox guy that's just had some surgery or something? What was that again?
Yeah, so this was from Trade Rumors. I'm trying to find a real alternative source. Mark Berman of KRIV Fox 26 reports that Aaron Sanchez, remember him, the guy that went to the Astros, and he's had a very good year. I mean, well, statistically speaking, he's not had a good year, but ever since he's came to the Astros, he's kind of turned it around. However, he's done for the year because he's already had it, but he's going to have shoulder surgery. So, in recovery time is unknown, so he's pretty much shut down for the year. Kind of a shame.
You know, it's going to be a popular World Series team. We're thinking about.
But we'll mention here in a few minutes why that's not going to be a big deal. So, but so yeah, that's a darn shame. You know, I think he's 5-14 on the year, maybe a 5 ERA, but he was with the Blue Jays, and now he's with the Astros. And like I said, he's turned it around, including the combined no-hitter he had. Right. So, change of scenery.
Sometimes I'll take Garrett Cole, definitive proof of that for the Astros.
But,
the Pirates.
You know, I'll go ahead and bleed that statistic in real quick.
Sure.
About the Astros, and this is by Ken Rosenthal on Twitter. Noting the now this was 4 days ago, so I think two of these guys have pitched since then. But obviously Justin Verlander has pitched since then. But our AL, the American League earned run average leaders are Justin Verlander 2.56, Garrett Cole 2.81, Wade Miley 3.06, and Charlie Morton also at a 3.06. Now you already know the answer to this question, but for those watching, I'll give you a second to think about this answer. But what do those pitchers have in common to you? You know, so I'm gonna let you think about it for a second. All right, time's up. Real fans would have got it right by now. So 3 of those pitchers are current Astros pitchers, and one of them is a former Astros pitcher.
The Rays, yay!
So, I mean, hello, Astros World Series, 3 leaders of the American League ERA, and then of course Justin Verlander. So we can.
What a guy!
We'll talk about him in a second.
Okay.
But let's see what else we got going on here.
Well, let's turn to my lady.
Yeah.
Lady, I have an infatuation with because she's such a geeky, awesome lady, and that's Sarah Langs, of course, of ESPN's Slangs on Sports, with Jorge Soler. Now, have every single MLB team represented that are current MLB teams with a 40 home run season ball player, because he has done it now for the Royals, the first Royal to do so.
Better than Bryce Harper.
How about it?
Better than Bryce Harper. Don't at me. Doing just as much damage, but not getting paid $300 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. I'm glad you said Sarah Langs because I have one from her as well.
Yeah.
From Twitter. She's very knowledgeable about. I mean, I guess, baseball in general, but
she's got an awesome voice too. For the radio.
Yeah. Highly recommend following her on Twitter. But she put up a couple days ago, and this really talks about the state of how baseball is this year. You know, we talk about home runs being hit hard, and some people say because there are more runs being scored, pitchers are not lasting as long. out there. So this may support that a little bit. And she put, and I quote, 659 different players have pitched in relief. This is not even talking starters. We're talking about relief pitchers this season, and that does include position players. That is the most in a season in MLB history, beating last season's number by 6 and counting. And that was put up 4 days ago, so that's probably not even the right number now, obviously. But blows my mind.
Is it gonna be 800? I don't know.
Is it gonna be 1,000?
It'll be 1,000 by the turn of the next decade. Yeah, exactly. The trend is going shorter and shorter stints for pitchers.
But yeah, let's see here. A couple more notes here. Adam man, I hope I'm saying his name right. Adam Chodsko on Twitter at Adam Chodsko. That's CHODZKO. Put up that Mike Trout is the first player ever, you say, because, this guy's not a GOAT enough. He's the first player with 275 home runs and 200 stolen bases before their age 28 season. Yeah. Anybody else still want to doubt that Trout is the best player out there? Go be with Antonio Brown.
He's trending, and he's nowhere near the scum of the earth that Antonio Brown is.
The GOAT and the guy in a GOAT uniform.
Yeah, right.
He thinks he's a GOAT.
Apparently so. Go get some more cryogenic therapy and freeze your feet, you bum.
You bum? That's something we haven't done in a while. Let's see. I think that's all I got on Twitter topics.
Okay. Well, I'll bring up Jamal Collier, well-versed Nationals columnist. He says, something I've been thinking for a bit with how good the Nats have been for so long, blah, blah, back in May. Just how that brutal start likely cost them the division. Imagine even just an average bad bullpen to start the season. And the side note he has is the most important stretch of this year's NL East race occurred between May 10th and the 23rd. The Braves were 18 and 20. The Nationals at that point 15 and 22. Both exited May 9th with losing records, but now winning 10 of the next 13. Atlanta gained 6.5 on Washington, and the Nationals finished that stretch of games getting swept in 4 games by the Mets. And
by the who?
Now, the Mets.
Not gonna lie, I thought you were fixing to do a cow there. Yeah, the Mets. Well, this has been Washington's problem for more than this year. They threw out Fernando Rodney last night against the Braves. And
did he blow it again?
Well, no, he didn't blow it again, but man, he just looked, and I mean this in the most respectful way possible. It's going to sound like I'm being mean, but I'm honestly not. He just looks so washed up.
Yeah.
I mean, he just looks like he doesn't want to be out there anymore.
He'll get his paycheck and go home, right?
But he did what he was supposed to do, so.
Okay.
But.
Well, 9 games back, they're going to need a little bit more than that from him. But they are 2 up on the Cubs in the wild card race right now.
Of course they
More
are.
on that to come.
I don't like it. Getting too close.
Yeah, we got to talk about the Moran brothers. What do you think about that?
That was a cool stat.
Yeah.
That was very cool. See if I can find it here, because you sent it to me, and I also had something on it. There it is. Well, do you want to say this one since you found the better stat for it?
Well, they squared off this week, and they are brothers. The first time since the year 1900 that a brother faces off against his sibling in his major league debut, which was Brian Moran's debut for the Marlins on the mound.
Mm-hmm.
In a pitcher versus batter scenario, and it was just the second batter he's ever faced in the majors was his brother, and he struck him out.
Yeah, it was Colin Moran for the Pirates, by the way.
Yeah.
For those who don't know.
And Mom cried out from the stands. The rumor was, "Don't you do that to your brother!"
I think my favorite thing is you look at the that tweet was by MLB Stats, right? Is that the right one? If you look at some of the comments under that, there's people are saying I'm sure we could Google this, but what was the outcome? And people are putting, I'm pretty sure Moran won. And I'm just like, how clever.
Just like Will Smith, the Giants facing Will Smith of the Dodgers.
Yep. And that also ended the same way.
Will Smith won.
Will Smith struck out Will Smith. And then Will Smith was in the stands going, what?
Getting jiggy with it.
We are too white for that. Anyway.
We gotta move on. Okay.
Let's move on.
Next one is kind of disturbing. We'll have to put it up on the... By the way, thanks. We had a couple of followers on the Hot Takes Facebook page this week. Thanks for following us.
Yes, absolutely. Appreciate you so much. Feel free to interact with us. Please.
Yeah.
We're not celebrities. You can talk to us.
But I'll probably chase them away now because I'll put up this wonderful photo we have.
Oh, God. Which one? Oh, I think I know where you're going.
Truly the polar bear.
Oh, man.
Alonso. The shirtless Pete Alonso. Now, the rumor is he had it torn off, right? Is that how it occurred?
Yeah, people are thinking that he tore it off himself, but that's not what happened, he said. He looks like a polar bear.
He does. MLB Network is credited for this one, the hashtag ballpark cam photo, as he joined the guys in the studio shirtless. The camera.
That's so funny. These poor jerseys are getting ripped off players, man. We gotta stop this jersey abuse. Stop it.
Yeah, jeez, I know you don't like some of them, and we don't like some of them either, but jeez, guys.
I think some of the amazing things that I'm seeing, and it's really disappointing. Like, some people are saying, God, this guy looks so out of shape.
Really?
He's a ball player that leads rookies in almost Major League Baseball on home runs. Why don't you go do better? You know, you don't have to be. You don't have to have like 8 6-pack abs to do this. No. Sometimes some of the bigger guys are fun to watch, as you know, with Episdoe and Prince. Yeah, and Prince Fielder.
Vaughn, Prince Fielder. There's another great one. The Fielder. David and son, Cecil.
But, I mean, a lot of that might look like fat, but obviously it's muscle.
They're athletes, for sure.
Who knows? That might attract more people. Do it.
Hey, Amos, those Milwaukee Brewers, they're kind of faltering in their division, but what a crazy stat by Adam McElvey that I found.
Tell me more.
Do you have that for you? No? Okay.
I'm looking for it. You sent it through me. There it is.
Last 10 games.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here it is. This is ridiculous. This can't be real. This can't be real. So the Milwaukee Brewers are 5-5 in their last 10 games. Okay, well, that's not amazing. They're 10-10 in their last 20 games. Okay.
That's their average.
Huh?
That's their average. What about the last 30? They got to do better.
Oh, yeah. No, you see, here's what happens, right? I don't know what voice we're doing. So their last 30 games, they're 15-15. I think you can see the pattern we're going here. 20-20 in their last 40 games. 25-25 in their last 50.
Surely not.
And 30-30 in their last 60. What the?
Were they 40-40 in their last 80? Oh, we don't think so.
Were they 40-40 in their last? Hey, who knows? That's a crazy stat, though. Yeah, that's.
Probably would have said it, but jeez, yeah, what the hell?
It always blows my mind that they find stats like this. Like, who thinks about this? Like, you know, it's like, okay, I see what they are in their last 10. Let's go look at their last 60.
Right to it, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that could be part of the reason that they're falling out. They're just average.
It's just average team, man.
You know, they did release Jeremy Jeffress.
I did not see that. Really?
I think last week or something like that. But I don't know why. I mean, yeah, he struggled a little bit, but that bullpen was already beat up enough as it is. You could have used all the help you could get.
Yeah, who else are they going to find, right?
But I just, I think it's not that I don't think they're out, or, I don't know.
They're on the precipice right now, right?
Oh, they are so close. Like, they are cutting it close. Like, they're 6.5 back. So, with as many times as they face the Cubs still, many times they face the Cubs still, I'm not counting them out. If they didn't face the Cubs anymore, I would be like, maybe. But with what's happened with the Cubs, I'm not gonna get into that right now. But
we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
So yeah, let's talk about this Jeff Passan article on ESPN. Apparently, the Major League Baseball and the Major League Baseball Players Association have preliminary discussions regarding random testing for opioids. One option being floated for these sources, more lax regulations on marijuana. That is, of course, a substance that already does not draw suspension for major league players, but if you're gonna make it like an official thing, what do you think?
Good for them. Good. I mean, we hear all the time about, as we know, America has an opioid crisis. However you want to spread it, it is a crisis. I'm not going to say who it is, but I had a close friend of mine found out just yesterday that his cousin passed away from overdosing. And he was only 18. He literally graduated high school, and he passed away. But, good. I mean, the thing is with marijuana, some people, I think it's the FBI. Anyway, they classify it as the same drug as heroin, which is ridiculous. But, if you're looking at I can never say it right. I'll just say pills. Pills versus marijuana. Marijuana has a lot more positive effects than what these pills can do, and they have way less negative consequences than what pills can do. And it's really hard to overdose on marijuana, compared to pills. Now, I'm not a professional. I'm not in the medical industry. These are just stats that I've seen over the last few years. That's why weed is becoming more and more legal, I guess. That's why 19 states have it legal.
Yeah, they're presenting a case that this is not something that's going to be like the pills, as you put it, and bring you to the danger. Boom.
Yeah.
This is just something that's come into the vernacular and the whole being, of those that are out there. And as you said, they're now, regulating it. They're establishing, laws saying do it this way and it's fine. We're not seeing anything that's going to push it in a direction that's going to, capsize the whole health industry, right?
Right. Well, it's a scary thing. It really is, because a lot of this has been reignited with the death of Tyler Skaggs.
Sure.
But if you think about it, it's crazy to think about, because how many players right now are taking some kind of pain meds or some kind of, medicine for their back or for their legs or for their arms or for headaches.
162 games.
162 games, sometimes playing 8 to 9 times in a row, like 8 or 9 days in a row, maybe even more.
Travel.
You can't tell me there's not any more players taking some stuff that's similar to what Skaggs had. So with that being in mind, I think it's a very smart move by MLB to start addressing this and say, you know what? We might need to look into opioids a little more. And maybe we do need to be a little more lax on marijuana. Because if it helps relax your muscles as good as pills do without the negative side effects, just do it. I mean, there's money to be made here too, so don't give me the money argument.
Right.
Now, obviously, there should be some stipulations, like players shouldn't be high while they're playing the game.
Of course.
I don't know, if they do it the night before a game, whatever.
Yeah.
But they don't need to do it, like if they got a morning game, they don't need to do it the morning before they play the game. But.
Well, let me bring up this statistic in the article. In the league's annual PED testing report last year, the doctor that runs the drug program says 11,526 tests administered, 9,282 urine samples tested for PEDs, amphetamines, and masking agents, with 2,244 blood tests used to detect human growth hormone. And, of course, MLB does not release information on testing for banned drugs of abuse, which would include LSD and PCP and some other things.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of interesting, and I think good.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. It is a good thing. We'll have to see what happens, how this unfolds, especially with the new players agreement deal being worked on now, right? Like they've broke ground on working, like they got the new, we covered that a couple months ago about the new, how Major League Baseball and the players unions trying to come up with a new, what do you call it? The players agreement. Yeah, that. So I wonder if they're going to throw this in there and maybe advocate for more, tougher on opioids, but lighter on marijuana, which, as you said in the article, players can't really get suspended for that.
Right.
So.
I mean, the the streamlining would be in their best interest. Lay out. This is what's going to happen. You got to be prepared for this or that or the other thing.
What's up, Maddie? Mm-hmm.
Hey, Maddie.
But it's good for them. We'll see where this goes, and I think this is the first sport to really look into it, because as far as I know, the NFL and the NBA still suspend players. I could be wrong on that, but they still suspend players for marijuana for sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, they've got to. Some states will still get thrown in jail for it, but
exactly, you're going state to state type of basis for sure. But of course, as a league policy, they just streamline it. And that's what the MLB, I think, isn't that going in the right direction?
Take initiative.
Yeah. However, I must say going in the wrong direction with that would be my Minnesota Twins starting pitcher Michael Pineda. Amos was kind enough and unkind enough to bring us up to what happened today, and that is the suspension for 60 games. So he's done for the year. Maybe he's done as a Twin. I don't know. Because, he's done. Best ERA starting pitcher on the team, man. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, man.
Replacement ligaments. Tommy John when he was at the Yankees. Yeah, you're Yankees, man. It's their fault.
Yeah, we just brought up. Maddie put the question in chat right as you brought it up. About the Pineda suspension. Originally, it was 80 games, but apparently a case was made that the banned substance, I don't know that word, so I'll say substance, was not a masking agent.
I can't get this thing.
According to Jeff Passan on Twitter, he said, this is near the end of the tweet, by the way. He originally got an 80-game suspension. He's talking about Michael Pineda, of course. But it was reduced to 60 on appeal, as a compelling case, was made that a banned diuretic he used was not a masking agent for PEDs.
Right.
Wouldn't be the first time, and this is not taking pot shots at him or anything. This ain't the first time that he's been caught cheating. So, he had the pine tar or whatever on his neck a couple years ago when he was with the Yankees. So yeah, that's a big blow. That's a really big blow to you guys.
Yeah, they're going to try to have to figure out something. It might be Lewis Thorpe that steps in. It might be like a combination of like a Cole Stewart call-up and something else for that number 5 spot. Obviously, everybody's sliding up the ladder or whatever the case may be. So now, Odorizzi, my brain is shot. I'm getting up early now, so sorry. I sympathize with you.
Who does that? Now you know why my brain's dead.
Odorizzi, Kyle Gibson, Martin Perez, Jose Barrios. I mean, not necessarily in that order, but now you're going to have a number 5 guy that you're looking for. And they're going to have a few options, possibilities, but there's no doubt that this is going to hurt huge because Big Mike, as we like to call him.
Yeah, Big Mike, all right.
Rip off from Blindside movie. Well, he was bringing it, man. He was bringing it to the plate. He was looking great. Best ERA in the starting staff, as I said. Yeah, he was a lock for, at least a number 2 guy for postseason next to probably Barrios, or Odorizzi. So I don't know. We're playing Cleveland now. What was it? 1-0 lead last I checked. Lost a tough one Friday night. It was tied at 1, going kind of late in the game. They went to extra innings, but just not enough pitching, to get the job done. That Cleveland lineup is pretty brutal. My browser just sucks right now. I hate you, browser.
Yeah, they're tied 2-2 in the 7th.
Oh, so now it's 2-2 in the 7th.
Yes.
This thing's not updating either. Das is a piece of crap. Maybe we should just alternate our team news if you got some Cubs stuff. Yeah,
I'll go ahead and get some of the Cubs things out of the way, and it's just becoming more of a roller coaster every week. So some interesting Cubs notes for the week. I'm just gonna start with the bad. I just want to get the bad out of the way. So the good news is we have. Well, actually, no. Let me get good news with bad news. The good news is we got Ben Zobrist back. He started off getting on base 5 times against the Brewers, so good for him. If he fills in that leadoff spot, then that's what the Cubs have been looking for all season. So that will solve that problem if he remains as consistent. And also, we got Big Willie back, Wilson Contreras, back to improve on that 283 average he had before he went on the IL, and he's already showing that he's missed the game. I think he's hit 2 home runs since his return, so good for him. The bad news is, and I don't know if I think the bad news outweighs the good news, really. The Cubs are now down 2 very significant players, 2 very big cornerstone players on the team. Number 1, Craig Kimbrell, who's on the 10-day IL due to elbow inflammation. The good news is the results on his elbow are clean, no damage or anything, so he's mostly on the IL for resting, which is good. I think he's eligible to come back next Thursday when they're facing the Padres. And then last but not least, the biggest blow, Javi Baez suffered a hairline fracture in his left thumb. I believe he was trying to steal second base last week.
Yes.
And I think so. I can't remember what day it was. But he was trying to steal second base, and he was safe, but he got a hairline fracture in his thumb. He had a test today. But he's gonna need he needs to have further tests on Monday. But some things that I've been seeing on Twitter have not been good. So I'm hoping it's just a jumping to conclusions kind of thing. But a lot of people, right? A lot of people are speculating that he could be done for the year, and that's something that the Cubs do not need, especially when they're still trying to catch the Cardinals. But yeah, that's a blow right there. I don't know what else to say besides that. I mean, he does everything for this team, good and bad. But, he's the best defensive player. He's one of the best hitters. He's one of the best, he does lead the team in strikeouts. But he also leads the team in, stolen bases and opposite field home runs, and which is improved on what he was a couple years ago, and hits and doubles. And I think he's near the top of the league in doubles. So that's. I say he's kind of a heartbeat that's gonna miss a beat like that. It's a big beat. Yeah, I can't remember who said it, but they said the lifeline of this team has been cut with Baez being hurt. So we'll see what happens. It's not all bad. Nick Castellanos has been doing good for the team. Right. Tony Kemp has been doing quietly well. So we'll see how he does. Russell, it seems like he's trying to actually play the game now. Well, now he's going to have to step up big, isn't he? Yeah, to say the least. And, of course, Ben Zobrist coming back, so we'll see what happens, But I think the road just got a lot tougher. Indeed. Okay. Oh, wait, I got this stuff back. So hydrochlorothiazide is the name of your substance that Anita tested positive for. And it's on this list, and it's something that's, helping him moderate his weight, basically. But the problem is, he didn't tell his trainers he was taking this. Boom. When are you going to learn? Yeah. You just cost your team. Exactly. Oh, okay. Well, we'll see what happens. I'll say that. They're at a loss. I don't know, man. I've got the third guy we were discussing out there since the beginning of spring training. Ruben Santana, Jorge Polanco also banned substance suspensions. I've got one more piece of Cubs news, and I'll turn it over for the rest of your Twins news. Oh, that's great. I don't know how much else I got besides just breaking stuff in the race, so go ahead. Oh, well, the Cubs called up today a very interesting gentleman by the name of Danny Holtzen. Now, why this is interesting to me, and I'll admit I didn't know who this guy was, so I did some research on him. And he was a number 2 pick in the 2011 draft out of the University of Virginia. Danny Holtzen. Now, why is that a big deal? He was picked number 2 overall in the 2011 draft. The only guy that got picked before him, Garrett Cole. Might have heard of him. Now, here's some of the guys that got picked after Holtzen. Javi Baez, Francisco Lindor, Trevor Bauer, who got picked number 3, Anthony Rendon, George Springer, and Blake Snell. Ever since then, the guy has had one injury scare. Other than that, he's been healthy. He is 29 years old, but he's been impressing. Now, I'll admit, I've seen these stats that he's done at AAA. And I'm going to tell you these stats, and I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to mind to you. Okay. So in AAA, this year, he's pitched 14 innings, gave up 2 runs, 4 hits, 23 strikeouts, and only 4 walks.
Wow.
Now, he is a lefty, which is something the Cubs have been needing also.
Yeah, that's
but what does that tell you?
Got control.
Oh, yeah, the strikeout to walks is definitely a good thing. But you know what tells me is that's it. Like, you're basing this guy off 14 innings, and you could be tossing him into a playoff scenario.
Sure.
You know, I mean, we've seen how many good pitchers come up that have pitched very well in AAA in the minors, and they come up and they just poo the bed.
Well,
you know,
Bruce Dark-Rider all for the Twins.
But
possible example there. I mean, he gave up the tying run. Not really, but anyway.
Oh, I'm okay with like them giving up a run. You have to expect a run, but like when Adbert Alzolay came up and he gave up 7 against the Pirates in 2 innings. You know, after they preached how much he did very well in AAA, which he's still doing well in AAA. But anyway, my point is those are very good numbers, but I want to see how they transfer to the majors. You know, and especially in a playoff type atmosphere that you got going on now, you're going to need him. You're going to need him. You're going to need Wick. You're going to need that other guy who I can't remember his name, who had the nasty curveball.
That was like heck of a
Cishek, Kimbrel, you need these guys to be good. So, you know, the Cubs bullpen has been pretty good recently, but I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens. But he does look good. I watched old videos of him in AAA pitching, and I don't know. I have my doubts. Some of those players in AAA were swinging at pitches that I don't think Major League players would swing at. But we'll just have to see what happens. So.
Well, who do they got coming up this week? You got the schedule in front of you?
It's a pretty solid week. Hold on. I will get that up now. I will get it up now. Schedule. Darvish pitched it good again tonight. He's been hot when we needed him. Let's see. So they've got one more against the Brewers on Sunday. And then they got 4 at San Diego. That should be 3 out of 4.
West Coast.
They need to win 3 or 4 from that. They have the better bullpen. They have the better starting pitching. They have offenses. I haven't been keeping up with Padres offense, but we'll see what happens. That record on the road is what worries me. And then they come back home for pretty much the beginning of the NL Central gauntlet. Because after they face the Padres, it's nothing but NL Central teams until the season's over. So the rest of the schedule consists of at home against the Pirates, at home against the Reds, at home against the Cardinals, and then their last off day of the year will be the 23rd, which is on a Monday. And then they go on the road, which there's the shaky part. 3 at Pittsburgh, and they end the season 3 at St. Louis.
Right, exactly.
So we're gonna find out what this team's made of.
Oh, you thought 2018 ending was a barn burner, baby? We better watch out this year, maybe, huh? The Diamondbacks breathing down the neck. What the heck is the Diamondbacks? 2.5 games back.
They are a hot team, man. What have they won? They're 10-1 in their last 11 games.
Wow. I don't even know what's happened.
5-game winning streak. They have blown up the run differential. They've been stuck in the 20s and 30s the whole year, and now they're at 83. You know.
I have noticed Ketel Marte has been showing up a lot more on my stat feed. So.
Yeah, he's the reason. Like, he's honestly one of the reasons. But yeah, man, they're only 2 games back at the Cubs. They won today, so they've already won their game. Okay. So if the Cubs are winning 2-1 right now against the Brewers in the 8th. So if they hold on, it'll be back to 2.5. But yeah, the Diamondbacks they're there.
And so it's too bad they don't have a series against the Cubs before the end of the year here. That'd be kind of fun.
I'm glad they're not there.
Right?
I'm glad. I don't want them. As hot as they are, I don't want to see them. But yeah, that the wild card race is something else right now. Still in the National League. Washington holds the top spot. 2 games over the Cubs. I think the Nationals lost to. Oh, they're playing right now against Atlanta. They've got a 3-game losing streak right now.
The Nationals do, yeah.
Yeah. The Cubs are 2 games back. They have the second wild card spot right now, and then after that, you have Arizona 2 games back, and then Milwaukee, the Mets, and the Phillies all 4 games back, and then the Giants still hanging in there at 8.5 back. So
I think
they're a long
the
shot.
Line of demarcation. I'd say they can't lose more than 2 games a week for sure.
Yeah, and it also depends on how good the Cubs and Nationals do, really. If they keep winning and the Giants don't, which they got a big series against the Dodgers. If the Dodgers win one more game, they clinch playoff spot, right?
I think so, yeah.
So they clinch a playoff berth, if you will. So even though it's stupid to say that they're not going to win the NL West right now, but they're going to win the NL West, what I'm saying. But
give that to them now, but I don't know, man. I think the American League One race is, even though you're only down to really the 3 division winners and probably 4 teams mixing it up in the wild card, and Boston right on the edge now. My Twins beat them 2 out of 3.
Big. That's huge. Yeah, and one of our videos of the week could have, which we'll show here in a little bit, could have signaled the end of Boston.
That was a heck of a play. I enjoyed it. A lot. Well, just kind of wrapping up some Twins loose ends. So Sunday, it looks like Devin Smeltzer might be the guy that the Twins used to pitch, but they also, rumors say, could go with Randy Dobnak. He's the guy that pitched the first inning in Boston as the first intentional opener of the year for the Twins. So they might be going more of an opener route as well. So
interesting.
Something to watch for. Yeah, as
we called that earlier in the year.
Yeah, I definitely thought they would have as well. Of course, you got Brusdar Graterol. He's the 21-year-old with the big fastball. Had 3 total appearances this week. He made his Target Field debut last night. I got to watch that as well. Facing 4 batters, but you couldn't get any of them out. So Cleveland tied the game, and then in extra innings gave up 4 runs. I can't remember. I think it was the top of the 11th. And then couldn't score, so lost that game. CJ Cron's been doing good, though. You like that for your fantasy?
Yeah. We don't talk about fantasy.
Made some good plays.
He definitely looks like he's making some solid contact.
But yeah, Amos, I'm feeling a lot of what you said about the Twins' tremendous road record this year. A testament to truly how important it is to win games away from your ballpark. 48-24 now. Yeah, best in the major leagues. So that does feel good. I'm taking that as a very positive. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Pointing that
Yeah,
out.
you can't ignore that road record, especially since our teams are until 2 ends there.
And then Nelson Cruz still struggling with that wrist. That's another thing I'm worried about. Had to be pulled from the game. They had to pull Jake Cave, one of the extra outfielders that's been kind of spelling Buxton a little bit, out of the game. So they're getting down to it. They need to, stay a little healthy for this stretch run. So did you have they have that video, the play?
Yeah, we'll toss up our first video of the week right now. While I'm getting it up, how's Max Kepler? Is he okay?
Yeah, he's doing pretty good.
I saw he had like some upper chest tightness or something.
Yeah, but it was really nothing too concerning. They got him back on the lineup. But you're gonna have your tightnesses and things. He's still looking pretty good. He was looking good last night at the plate. Of course, he's mostly the center fielder now that Buxton's been day to day. Buxton just kind of uses a late inning guy.
All right. Well, here we go. Oh, that's the wrong video. Let me pull the right video up. So we got 2 videos of the week this week, and we're gonna go ahead and show the first one since it has to do with your Twins. And yeah, what a play by who was it? Eddie Rosario, right? Yep. So here we go. Let me set up the scene for you here. Bottom of the 9th in Boston. Twins are up 2-1. Very shaky for your Twins, as you say. But they are on the road. They are in Fenway. It is very loud. They have a runner on first. 2 outs. As you can see, Boston is down to their final strike.
Rafael Devers is on first.
Rafael Devers. And I can't remember who this is hitting. I'm not going to lie.
I can't remember either.
But so here we go. Rogers looking to close it out, and the following happens. Ooh, high off the wall. Well played by Rosario. What a cannon home, and nails them at the plate for the final out of the game. Twins hold on to win 2-1.
Wow.
And that is the moment that you see the Red Sox are done. That lost right there.
I won't officially put the dagger in, but I think you are definitely on the path for sure.
There's just too many problems, man. Like, that was well. We won't talk about that. We'll talk about this great play. First off, as they show the replay again, great job by Eddie Rosario to play this off the wall. Like that wall is not always even. So, like, you don't know which way that ball's going to bounce.
All over the place, yeah.
So, first off, great job by Rosario to play this off the wall effectively. And then also a great job just to, what an arm he's got. He was like, I don't need no cutoff, man. Just let me throw it. And I think Devers was out, man, maybe by 8 or 10 feet. Like, it wasn't as close as the replay makes it look.
It's about 5, maybe.
But who is that behind the plate? Is that Garver? I can't tell who that is behind the plate.
God, I can't remember if it was Castro or Garver.
Oh, that's Castro. I see a C. That's Castro. And, great tag by Castro, and that was the final out of the game. So you kind of, I think this is part of the reason why I say that's the play that makes the Red Sox done. You got to look at the confidence of this team right now. Yep. Do you think if this team had a little more confidence in their hitters, they would have stopped Devers at third instead of just sending him?
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I don't know who was hitting next, because like the third base coach should have a better read on this than what he saw. He should have seen that Rosario had the ball in his glove even before Devers was rounding third. So my question is, why did you send him? Like, it is Boston. The left field
desperation at that point in everybody's brains, maybe, huh?
Yeah, like the desperation is there. It's like, we got to tie it now. We got to tie it. We have to tie it. So you're willing to do anything possible. So that's just my question. It could be totally blown out of proportion. That's fine if people think so. But that's just the first thing I think of.
Everybody's take, yep.
Not to mention, as you've said before, the bullpen for the Twins has been iffy.
Right.
And you've got a good offense. Boston has a good offense. So why did you not hold Devers at third? Now, I would understand if maybe Rosario had to go in the opposite direction that he throws. Like, if he had to go closer to center field and dig that ball out from behind him, turn around and throw.
Exactly.
But this, like, when you look at the video, Rosario, as I said, I'm not taking anything away from Rosario. I'm not. This was very well played. He had his feet set before that ball was in his glove. So he knew where he was throwing. Like, he was fixing to launch when they turned the camera back to Devers rounding third, and he was just stepping on third base. Okay. So as Rosario was doing this motion, getting ready to throw the ball, Devers was just now stepping on third. How do you think that was going to go? If you're a third base coach, would you honestly send your runner there.
Yeah, especially a guy like Devers, not exactly fleet of foot, but decent.
But that was an unbelievable toss, and that was the game. By the way, that's how the game ended. Boston lost. Excellent play by Rosario, though. It just shows the resilience of your Twins and how people need to quit underestimating them.
2 out of 3 instead of 2 out of 3 the other way can go a long way. And we'll see how it goes for the rest of the night. Twins Indians, they'll have one more game Sunday, off day Monday, and then I think we can help out your Cubs next week. We got Washington in town for 3.
Yeah, that'd be great.
No doubt. And then maybe we'll get to finish Cleveland off next week because we're in Cleveland, 13th through the 15th.
That was our first video there, and we'll show the second one a little later on.
Yeah, well, thanks for playing that and showing the folks. You better watch out.
Yeah, it was honestly a great play. That was such a good throw. I remember them talking about it on my way to work. Like, I remember the announcer for the not the radio guy. Sorry, the radio announcer for the Twins, broadcaster, whatever his name is. Thank you. And like just the play that he made, and it took me a second to realize, like, Devers just threw someone out from, or not Devers, Rosario just threw someone out from the outfield, and that ended the game. It took me a second to realize that was the end of the game. So I was like, that's good, because it would have been a tie game, and then who knows what would have happened.
Their home team, Boston, so.
Especially since your Twins have to win what seems, even though they've got a 5.5 game lead, but they still need to win often, to say the least. Like, they can't slack,
As I've been saying, last few weeks, the most important thing is going to be beating Cleveland head-to-head. And after that, you can't lose too many series. So the last few series are coming up here.
Right. Now, just a quick side note. There's a reason why I think Boston's done.
Okay.
And I want to look at the elimination number that Boston has.
Yes.
They have 4 games until they're eliminated. Now, I'm going to look at their schedule real quick. I'm going to pop their schedule up.
Excellent.
And see what they got here.
Yeah.
Where is it?
We have Yankees ending this weekend, of course.
Right.
And Monday as well. Then you got Toronto on the road for 3 in the middle of the week. Friday off, 13th off. Or no, this is August. I'm sorry.
No, I think you're right. September.
No, this is September. Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
And then you got Philadelphia on the road for a 2-game set, weekend set.
That'd be a good one.
That is interesting.
Those are 2 teams fighting for wild card spot right there. That's going to be a series to watch.
Maybe that's when they'll die. One of them will
That's
die.
when they'll die. That's when they'll perish.
As far as their playoff hope, yeah.
No, it's 4 games, though. I mean, they have 4 games, to which, let's see, who's the wild card team? Let me go back to the wild card team real quick.
We got A's, Rays, and Indians vying right now, but again, I'm worried my Twins are going to fall.
Let's see here. So they're 6.5 back, and they could be eliminated. Well, that's from the, okay, to be fair, that's the division, but
Oh, okay.
their wild card elimination, sorry, I was looking at the wrong number, is 15. But regardless, you look at this schedule that they got, the Blue Jays, to be honest, without Chris Sale, without David Price,
Right.
I don't know. I don't know about the Blue Jays series. I think the Blue Jays could take 2 of 3.
The way Bo Bichette's been, did you see that at bat, by the way? Bo Bichette.
Yes.
13
Great at bat.
Boom! Home run.
And credit to him for not pulling that ball. He hit it the opposite way. So he's smart. This Blue Jays team is the most exciting, underwhelming team. Like, you don't expect them to do very well, but they're an exciting team to watch.
I like the camera shot of proud Papa Dante Bichette, former Major League stud in his own right.
They should just have that camera planted there permanently.
They should.
So many young players, sons of former players. But yeah, let's quickly just to get into this for a second. Let's quickly look into the Blue Jays. They got 3 against the Blue Jays, as you said. I think the Blue Jays could take 2 of 3, depending on which Red Sox we see, because they got 2 more against the Yankees. Right. Now, what if they lose the last 2 against the Yankees? and the Twins win or Cleveland wins, then they're going to be even farther back in the wild card.
All right.
I just don't see it. There's so many teams. If it would have been last year, I would have been like, okay, they're going to sweep the Rays. They're going to sweep the Phillies. They're obviously going to sweep the Giants. Now this year, I'm like 2 of 3. The Blue Jays are going to win 2 of 3.
Yeah.
I think they're going to split the series in Philadelphia. I don't know who's pitching. I'm pretty sure Aaron Nola is going to be pitching one of those matches. But if that's the case, I would favor Nola over anyone the Red Sox have thrown out because Chris Sale's not there. David Price ain't there. Eduardo Rodriguez is good, but he's been giving up the long ball.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the Giants. I think that one could be... That's in Boston. I think that one might be a sweep. Possibly.
By that point, will it really matter?
Yeah, that's the thing, though. Will it matter? But then you got 4 at the Rays. So
yeah, that could be huge if Boston puts it together, right?
Yeah. That's going to be the series, I think, to determine if Boston's still in it or not.
Okay, yeah.
That's my opinion.
I like that.
But we'll see. 6.5 back, but they don't look like the same team.
No.
Their stats would say otherwise, but you have to watch this team play. I'm not saying they're quitting or anything, but definitely not saying that.
Well, speaking of, maybe look at Tampa and see what they got coming up. So they're finishing off with Toronto here. They've won. What have they won? How many in a row now? Tampa.
They've got a 4-game winning streak. They're 9-1 in the last 10 games.
Yeah, and 9-1 in the last 10. Exactly. So now they could, really on this road swing. They're going to be at Texas Tuesday after the Toronto series is done. They have Monday off. 3 games in Texas, 3 games in LA to face the Angels, and then you got the Dodgers. A couple of games next week, but
that'll be a good series.
What a road series this could be for the Rays.
Yeah, 3 gets the Rangers. They should get 2 or 3 on that one. The Angels, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Maybe a sweep? Because the Angels are just so broken in their pitching.
I don't know. I can't see it. I got to see the Angels take at least one of those.
I guess the safe bet would be 2 or 3. Maybe not a sweep. What do you think about the Dodger one? Rays and Dodgers.
In Los Angeles, Rays and Dodgers. I like to see the pitching matchups. See what matchups.
That's true, yeah. And then, of course, you got Red Sox, Yankees, and they end their series at Blue Jays. So that's tough, though. That's still a tough schedule.
Still be tough. Okay, what are you thinking at this point? Let's toss it up. Toss the coin up.
All right.
Oakland or Rays for a wild card spot if you had to choose. Should we look at Oakland's schedule?
I can pull them up. They both own the wild card spots now. Tampa and Oakland.
Cleveland will have top dibs, right?
They're half a game, right? Yeah. Well, the Cleveland's half a game back.
Okay.
The Oakland is 82-59. Cleveland is 82-60.
Okay.
Let's see here. Let's see what the A's have to offer.
All right.
I'll pull them up right
Losing
now.
to Detroit right now, by the way.
Yeah, that's huge. They can't be losing these games.
That's in Detroit. God.
All right, so they got one more. Ooh, boy. All right, so they got one more Sunday, and then they go to the Astros for 4. That's...
Oh, no.
Okay, so let me put it this way. If the Indians are going to overtake the A's, that's the 4 games they need to do it. Because after that, they got the Rangers, the Royals, the Rangers, the A's, and the Mariners. Pretty simple teams, relatively speaking.
I would say just about, every series after the Houston series, you're looking pretty simple.
Oh. Or not as tough as the other schedules.
Exactly.
So, okay, what were my choices? Like for the second wild card spot?
Or Rays. If you had to choose A's or Rays for a wild card spot, leave Cleveland out of it.
Okay.
Except, formulating. Obviously you got to use that. But if you had to choose one of those 2, where are you leading? Now we got the easiest possible schedule for the A's.
Yeah.
Rays, they gotta have this road swing too.
The Rays did get Tyler Glasnow back.
Yeah, that's huge, isn't it?
That's really big. But the A's also got Sean Manaea back.
True.
And I really haven't seen how the A's bullpen has been. They are getting some offensive help back with Ramon Laureano returning. That's a tough one. But if you held a gun to my head, I would probably say A's.
Yeah, I'm going to lean that way as well at this point, but
that's really tough.
Close.
That's a tough one. Those are very two hard
close.
Teams.
How about we just say the one game playoff is going to happen?
Yeah, that one game. Man, they're such good teams. Like, it's hard to say. The A's have scored more runs, but they've also given up more runs. They do have a higher run differential. They've got a better record at home, but the Rays have a better record away. So, like, everything kind of balances out. That's tough. That's honestly a tough one. If you go by schedule, you got to go A's.
Yeah, right.
All these teams are facing are going to be under 500 after the Astros. And, the Mariners are just junk, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
The Royals are just junk. The Rangers are not junk, but they're not on the same level.
Yeah, they don't have a point to really care at this point.
Yeah, and then the A's or the Angels are probably going to be their toughest challenge.
Agree.
But, yeah, I think just the schedule, I would go with the A's. Because, the Rays schedule is rough. That's a rough schedule. And like I said, you can't always count out the Blue Jays.
Yeah, right. And the Dodgers series is going to be so tough on the road.
Yeah, depending, if you imagine that you had to face Ryu and Buehler back-to-back in that series, or if you had to face Kershaw and Buehler, or whichever two you want to plug in there. I'm going to go A's on that one. We'll see what happens. But the Rays have been sticking around for a reason, so.
Yeah, that's right. That tough East, just detrimental to them getting this far. It's really great for the Rays, their season. And it's just a shame, because they came so close last year, too.
Yeah, I was really rooting for them last year.
Yeah, me too. The Cy Young winner, Mr. Snell.
Let's see what we got here. What's next on our list here? That's a good one.
Well,
shall we touch on Mr. Verlander?
Yeah. I really can't get this computer going.
Now, this happened pretty early in the week, so we're a little behind. Forgive us for that. I think it honestly happened the night after we recorded the last episode. Yeah. So, for those who happen to not know, which I'm pretty sure you do know. By the way, Maddie said it in our chat, and forgive me, I'm very bad at looking at chat tonight. He said I could do a Yankees report in 2 weeks when he's at the game.
That's right, Maddie's going to go to the Yankees game.
That's cool.
Yay.
You should send us a little video of you, and we'll put it up on our podcast. That would be awesome. Maddie, send us a little video of you at Yankee Stadium. That'd be great. Or bonus points if you can get a player to say, "Welcome to the Hot Takes Corner podcast."
Might actually pay you money, man.
No, anyway. I will not crap on your Yankees if you do it.
There you go. Yeah, we'll guarantee you no crap on Yankees.
Unless they face the Twins.
Or Astros.
Yeah, good lord. Astros are still the best team. I'm sorry. Yankees are very good. Like, record-wise, the Yankees do have a better record, but not by much. Anyway, Justin Verlander, yeah, so congratulations to him for having another no-hitter, the third of his career. In Toronto, he struck out 14 players. He is the first pitcher to throw 2 no-hitters as a visitor in the same park. The other one he did with the Tigers back in 11, I think is what it was? 2012?
Was it 14? Or, no, I don't know.
The record, the number was there, but I did not write it down. I just remember vaguely, so I'm sure somebody can find that. Anyway, but yeah, he was pretty dominant. He threw 120 pitches, which is one of his highest that he's thrown. He retired the last 26 hitters in a row, so that tells me that he got the walk on the, what was it you said, the second batter?
Yeah, so if you said 26 in a row, that means the first batter was out, but the second batter got a walk.
So, there you go. That is the third of his career. He is third on the all-time list behind Sandy Koufax, who has 4, and a little guy named Nolan Ryan, who has 7. So there you go.
Express.
That's some pretty good company right there.
I'd say.
He's also tied with somebody else, but I did not write down who that was, so
That's okay.
Forgive me on that one. But yeah, congratulations to Verlander, and this is literally the start he had after last week. We talked about him getting tossed for being a little whiny baby, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that made him mad.
I think it did make him mad.
That's it.
Verlander angry.
It's
You know, if they follow this, you know, I think every time before his debut, somebody in the maybe Altuve should go up to Verlander, jump up, and slap him in the face, you know, before it starts.
There you go.
And then if Altuve can run away,
Right. Hulk Verlander.
it's okay for me to make height jokes because I think I'm the same height as Altuve. No. But yeah, Justin Verlander, congratulations, man. It was against Toronto and that impressive hitting core. Still learning, but very good hitting core.
Would you say only one guy struck the ball at least 100 miles an hour, and it wasn't Vlad Guerrero Jr.?
No, yeah, it was McKinney. He hit a hard ground ball to first base. That was the only ball that was hit in that game that was over 100 miles an hour. So,
Crazy.
not only was he striking people out as expected, but when they did make contact, they were not hitting it hard. So, there you go, Justin Verlander. I think he's scheduled to get, 3 more starts for the end of the year?
Got to be at least 2, probably 3, I'm thinking, though.
So, there we go. Justin Verlander. What's next on our list here?
Just trying to open things at this point, this end, so.
That's all the notes I have except for our pictures. Well, I'll tell you what. Since you're looking for your next topic, I may go ahead and play our second video of the week.
Yeah, why don't
If you want me to do that.
I'm
So,
trying to get this up.
I personally love this video. I really do. This is a very funny video to me. And what this is once again it involves well, I'll say once again it involves Toronto, but that's not right. It does involve Toronto. Toronto was in Atlanta recently. Setting the scene here, bottom 8. Atlanta is up 4-2. Bases loaded. That is Tyler Flowers, the catcher, at the dish. And I'm just gonna let you guys watch what happens here. Let me make sure I have the audio muted because I don't want it to get flagged. So this is on MLB's website, by the way. I know I should probably give proper credit. This is on MLB.com, so you can find it there. Let me make sure it is pulling up correctly, and I will play the video. I do find it weird that I just said they have a very good hitting core, and then we just talk about how they got no hit by Justin Verlander. Oh, you know, it would help. It would really help if I turn the window on so we can all watch it and not just me.
Yeah,
Boop.
There
There it is. I will pull this right back up here, and I will wait until this buffers a little bit. But yeah, I mean, Toronto's just got what, Ken Giles, and that's it in their bullpen. Yeah.
I don't know who those pen guys are anymore. This pitching rebuild, as we touched on last week, is really going to be interesting in Toronto. I don't know what direction it's going to take.
This year's going to be a big year. Garrett Cole's going to be a free agent. What if they land him?
God, Toronto? Garrett Cole? I don't know.
I doubt it, but I'm just saying, what if they do?
Yeah. It's just interesting to think about, right?
That could be the thing that could get you a wild card spot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, why is it not showing up here? I'm showing on our stream, it's not showing up. So let me go back to it here.
All right.
I mean, I'm seeing it. There it is. Okay. My video is just that far behind. Okay, good to know. Thanks, man. All right, so I will just play this first and let it play, and I'll go over what happens here. So here we go. Ooh, he's got it. He's got it. He's got it. Nah, he don't got it. So there's Donaldson scoring. Here comes Joyce. Here comes Swanson. Oh, boy, there it is. Did you see it? Did you see it? I'm sure they'll show the replay of it. Let me say this. Joyce better speed up.
Yeah, boy, got to get some wheels somewhere.
Because Swanson was barreling down on his heels. Let me see if they'll show it here on the replay.
It's like Byron Buxton trying to chase David Ortiz or something.
Yeah. Let's see here. Tyler Flowers, man. Not a very good hitting catcher, but he's been getting some crucial hits this year for the Braves.
Yeah.
See if they'll show here. I think they'll show it on this angle right here. Yeah, Joyce goes back to second for some reason. I'll stop it right here on the video. But it looked like Swanson, I don't know who was in the wrong here, to be honest, because I think Swanson knew that he wasn't going to catch it. He was already like 3 feet from second base, and Joyce was going back to tag second because I guess he didn't know where the ball was. So,
well, at that angle, I suppose you can't see it quite as clear, right?
Yeah, you could see Swanson having to slow down. But yeah, I think MLB put on Twitter, their caption was like, double slide. So yeah, I said Jim Joyce. Matt Joyce and Dansby sliding at the same time pretty much at home plate. That's something else. I had to cut the video there because it showed a company that we do not sponsor or does not sponsor us. So no, nobody does, but I'm just saying we don't want to get that tied in. But yeah, Dansby Swanson and Matt Joyce, who's been very good for the Braves off the bench. Double sliding.
Marquez in the situation he's been in, it's been so huge to have Joyce contribute.
That's just funny to me. But
while we're talking about the Braves, how about Shane Green, and the contribution he's been making?
Well, it's more like about time, because he struggled profoundly when he first came to the Braves. Let's see what he's done recently here. I did watch him last night, and he looked a lot more focused.
Confident, focused, and everything. Yeah.
They're winning right now against the Nationals, too. This is a big game. Green is actually pitching right now in the 8th. That's interesting.
Ooh, fun.
I wonder, he's pitched 2.
Maybe he's doing 2 innings. I don't know.
I don't know who they have as the closer then. Anyway.
Like I say, is it going to be a 2 inning?
Oh, it could be Melanson. I don't think they'd put him 2 innings against the Nationals.
Oh,
I don't know.
Good point.
I don't know. But
who knows what's in Snicker's head, I guess.
Let's pull up Green here. Check out his stats. It's crazy that he's 0-3, but he's got a 1.95 ERA. So,
he's got unlucky 3 times, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, statistically, he has been worse with the Braves than with the Tigers, but let's see if I could find. He's only converted 1 of 3 saves for the Braves. I think that's why they had Melanson there. He's 22 out of 25 with the Tigers. He has a 3.63 ERA with the Braves this season compared to a 1.18 with the Tigers. So I don't know. Maybe he's still finding his footing.
Yeah.
But he does have 18 strikeouts compared to 4 walks. So that's a good sign. What is not a good sign is that hitters are hitting 262 off of him. And he's supposed to be a closer. So
yeah, right.
Not great.
That's a situation where you're going to look to probably even more possible help at the back end of the pen. And you pointed out, Melanson can maybe fill a little bit of that.
Yeah, and then Luke Jackson has been trending in a very bad direction. I think they said he's given up at least 1 run out of his last 5 consecutive starts. Or relief appearances, I should say.
That's not going to earn him much postseason time.
But regardless, though, that still hasn't stopped the Braves from winning 8 in a row. So, they are, I think they got the 2nd best record in the National League. They should.
I smell an NL East title.
I do too. I think the NL East is over, sparring a big collapse. But I don't think this team is going to collapse. Let's pull up.
Certainly aren't going to get hot. I don't think.
Let's pull up their schedule. I think the Nationals are going to get hot, but I don't think they're going to get as hot as the Braves are.
As hot as they need to be.
Yeah. Let's see what the Braves got coming up to end their year, shall we? 2 more against the Nationals. Okay, pretty tough. I think it's relatively tough. They got 2 more against the Nationals, 4 in Philly, 3 in Washington.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 3 more against the Nationals. They're playing at home tonight. So this series against the Nationals is in Atlanta. They get an off day on the 16th, and then they have a 6-game homestand three with the Phillies, 3 with the Giants. And then they end their season on the road, 2 at Kansas City, 3 at the Mets. The big thing is, though, they get 2 days off in the last week of the year. The 23rd before the Royals series and the 26th right after the Royals series. So that could be huge.
Do they have any more makeup games? Probably not.
Not that I'm aware of. They would have it scheduled on here, so I don't think it is a...
Good call.
Yeah, no makeup games. So with that being said, let's pull up the Nationals. They're 9 games out. I like what the Braves' slogan is this year.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
Defend the East.
Defend the East.
I like it. I like that one. Nice little war cry there.
Well, next is going to be beat the Dodgers this time.
Good luck. Let's see here. Oh, boy. Oh, wow. Okay. Nationals have a rough schedule.
No Twins are involved, but what else we got?
All right. So, after this series against the Braves, they have your Twins next, 3-game series, and then they come back home to face the Braves, as I just mentioned. And they only have 1 off day after your Twins series. So, and that's the 19th. They got 3 against the Cardinals, 16th, 17th, and 18th. Their off day, which is the 19th. And then they have 3 at Miami. They come back home, and they have 5 games against the Phillies. They have a makeup game from June 18th that was postponed. So the 23rd, they have the Phillies, and they have 2 games on Tuesday. That makeup game and then another one at 7:05. 2 more against the Phillies, and then they end the year at home against the Indians.
Oh, weird. That's a crazy end.
It's like MLB knows who the playoff teams are going to be.
Yeah, right? Kinda.
Yeah, that's a tough schedule. That's way tougher than what the Braves got. And not to mention, like I said, not only did the Braves have more off days, but they don't have any double headers.
Good point.
They're going to be playing roughly, 3 games in 36 hours? 1:05 makeup game, a 7:05 night game, and the 7:05 night game after that.
Yeah.
And then not to mention the day before that makeup game is a 7:05 game. That's rough. That's kind of rough. Really need the Nationals to beat the Cardinals, though. That would be great. Much as I hate to say it. So, yeah, I think it's safe to say, bearing a big collapse, Atlanta's got the East. 9 games ahead. Let's see what we got here.
How about this? How about we could rank the most likely to least likely division winners of the 6 divisions right now at this point? Where are you going to put Atlanta among the 6?
As of it's in the bag kind of deal?
Yeah.
I'm going to put it... I'm going to put it 4th because... Well, let me just tell you my list real quick.
Yeah.
Starting from most convincing to least convincing.
Okay.
I am most convinced that the Dodgers are going to win the West.
Bingo, yep.
The second one is the Astros winning the West, the AL West.
Mm-hmm. Brave?
Well, I'm stuck between them and the Yankees. So I'll put Yankees 3rd and then Braves 4th. Because I have a better sense that the Nationals could put up a bigger fight against the Braves than the Braves could against the Yankees.
Great point.
And then I have the Twins and then the NL Central, the Cardinals. So that's what I got.
I'm with you all the way.
That's a tough one, though.
But yeah, tougher between the 2 Easts for which position to put them at. But yeah, the Yankees' ability, in the American League. Yeah. Yankees 3, Braves 4.
Speaking of which, we are at, let me see what we're at here. We're actually at 1 hour and 21 minutes. Do we want to go ahead and hit up our top 5 worst pitchers of the year?
Yes, let's wrap things up. And of course, if you missed us last week, tune in the archives all over the place. Hot Takes is on twitch.tv, where you're seeing it right now, or if you're on YouTube, you're seeing it right now. Not live.
Not live.
But on YouTube.
So things could change. Also, I do want to correct myself. We're going to go over our top 5 pitchers, and then after that, we're going to have one more note about a player that passed away, and then we're going to end our session here. So let's get on with the fun stuff, and then we'll kind of end it on a somber note, because I think there's really no proper way. It's really hard to balance out bad news with some fun stuff. So
yeah, and we start so many shows with the somber stuff. We just don't like that downtrodden beginning,
Right. So let's go over, no particular order, top 5 worst pitchers in 2019.
Last week, top 5 best that we think, and now top 5 worst.
Minimum of 20 starts.
I started last week. Yep, minimum of 20 starts.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have to qualify. I started last week. I'm gonna let you start this week.
I'm gonna let me start this week. All right. So my number 5 pitcher is on the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm gonna go with Chris Archer. 3-9 with a 5.9 ERA. The stat that gets to me is that he's given up 114 hits in 119 innings. The guy that was supposed to lead this rotation is not leading this rotation. The guy that's getting paid the most money on this rotation is doing the worst on this rotation. And as I've said it before, he was overrated with the Rays. He's overrated with the Pirates. People, stop saying he's a good pitcher. Stop it. Because this is not backing up you in any way. So, can you imagine, though, where the Pirates would be if he did hold his own, though?
Yeah.
When Joe Musgrove was off to a great start this year, when Lyons was off to a great start this year, or whatever his name was. Not Lynn, but Lyons. Tyler Lyons, I think was his name. I can't remember. But, if these three would have actually done what they were supposed to do, which Musgrove did for a while, but...
Mm-hmm.
People weren't looking at Joe Musgrove. They were looking at Archer. We got Chris Archer. We finally have an ace. That's not an ace. So.
Wow. Great stats. I like the stats you brought in there. It's impressive.
Thank you. Number 5.
All right. My number 5. I'm calling it a sophomore slump for this guy, though. He is with the Kansas City Royals. I know off the air when we were discussing who we were looking at, I agreed that it was tough to look at the pitchers for Royals and say, yeah, for this guy or whatever guy. But in the end, I did decide to go with Brad Keller.
Mm-hmm. I was close to adding him, too.
He does have 14 losses, but as we know, with guys like Jacob deGrom and wins for the Cy Young, it don't matter.
Yeah.
4.19 ERA is not too shabby, and that was the difficult part between him and one of my wild card nominations, so to speak. Honorable mentions, I guess. Dishonorable mentions in this case. 70 walks to lead the American League at age 23. Doesn't show you a lot of control. He does have 122 strikeouts, which is pretty decent for 20 games pitched, or 28 games pitched started. So, yeah.
It doesn't help that the offense is poo-poo.
Yeah, and his arm fatigue has shut him down for the remainder of the season, so maybe he was just trying a little too hard, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. He may have some good upsides. I think he's probably one of the biggest upsides the Royals have right now.
Yeah, I have, heard good things as well, and, mentioned the age 23, but gotta get a chance, right?
That's a good one. I was close to putting him.
All right, what about your number 4 then?
Number 4, I've got Kyle Freeland for the Rockies.
Was close with him.
Now, here's why I decided to put Kyle Freeland for the Rockies. 3-11, near a 7 ERA. Not good, especially if you compare what he did last year. So here's his numbers from last year. This is what he's capable of. He went 17-7 with a 2.85 ERA. And that's pitching in Coors and on the road, obviously. Now he's 3-11, near a 7 ERA. That's why he made the list, because he's capable of so much more, and he just simply hasn't been showing it. I'm just keeping it that simple.
And look what he did last year against your Cubs in the wild card. I hate to bring it up, but
No, you're right. That's absolutely a fair point. That's what he's capable of. He can pitch to playoff teams. So something's going on this year that's, I don't know if it's mechanics. I don't know if he's been hurt.
Sounds like he's on the IL now, I know. And I think at the beginning he was battling something from what I recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad. Colorado native, I believe.
Yeah. So that's who I got. I think he's just someone that, statistically speaking, he is a way better pitcher. And I'm putting him on this list not because he's overall a bad pitcher, but because he's just not pitching to his own standards.
Exactly.
So, the 7 ERA is not going to help.
I think it's the worst one I've seen on the lists of pitchers that I came up with. But, yeah, it's probably for me, maybe what saved him for me not being on mine was the fact that he did have such a great 2018. But, yeah, this is 2019 list that we're coming up with, so.
Yeah.
Gotta roll that direction. Well, my number 4 guy is interesting.
Do tell.
So he spent 19 games with one team, and he's only spent 1 game with his current team, and that's because, surprisingly, he was waived by the Milwaukee Brewers. We're talking about Jhoulys Chacin. Red Sox.
Yep.
5.79 ERA.
I was close to putting him, too.
Yeah. 10 losses on the season. He has only given up 99 hits, but it's been in 88 innings. Still, not too shabby. 19 home runs given up, though, and only 80 strikeouts in those 88 innings for a starter, which, for some is just a matter of control versus, contact and all that stuff. But, yeah, I mean, you get waived by a team, especially, the Brewers starters aren't, the best starters in the league.
Yeah.
I'd say that's something, too.
Yeah, how bad do you have to be for a team that's struggling to find constant pitching to waive one of their best pitchers they had last year?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, last year, too. Yeah. So he's my 4. Who's your 3?
Number 3, I'm going with Kikuchi. You say Kikuchi for the Seattle Mariners. 6-9, 5.36 ERA. He has given up 97 runs, 144 innings. Not terrible, but not the hype that he was really gloated out to be. Not to mention, the year before he went 14-4 with a 3.08 ERA, with 153 strikeouts and 45 walks with the Saibu Lions. So he was named for the All-Star team in the MPB League, 3rd time in his career, and then he comes to Major League Baseball and he poos the bed. I mean, I think he did have a shutout, or a 1 complete game, sorry. But that's just not enough. Granted, everything on the Mariners has not gone right. But you were paid a lot of money to come pitch well. And maybe it's rookie. I know I said the thing about rookie, but I'm putting him in a different class. There's a difference between having a rookie coming up from the minors and then paying this guy. I actually don't know his pay. I know it's like $10+ million to pitch like this.
Yeah, because they had to use such a big offer to get his signing rates.
Right. They've given up so much money for a 6-9 record and a 5.3 ERA. Giving up a lot of runs, a lot of hits. Nah, I'm not buying it. I think you're better than that. And, this Mariners team.
I think he is.
So, he's my number 3.
I think he is better than that. But I didn't pick him as my Mariner.
Mm-hmm.
Who is not a Mariner anymore. Another guy that fell away from a team to go to another team. And I'm talking about Mike Leake. Now he's a Diamondback.
Oh, you got him as a bad pitcher.
I do.
Oh, I'm very interested on this one. Do tell, sir.
He's given up the most home runs so far. Wait, where's his line? Give me here. Come here.
Get over here.
Get over here. Okay. So with Seattle,
Second most.
26 home runs given up, and with Arizona 9 for a total of 35 so far this season. I think that's on the leaderboard, isn't it?
He is second in major leagues in home runs given up. He's given up 35 home runs, second to Matthew Boyd for the Tigers.
Boyd is the guy. That's right.
Third place is, ironically enough, Kikuchi with 34. But
So yeah, maybe our picks are close.
yeah,
There's number 3 guy.
I thought I knew who you were looking at, but I was wrong. So
But age 31, he's getting up there. Will he stick with Arizona? He's from Arizona State University, so obviously has ties. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about Mike Leake. He's number 3 for me. Who's number 2 for you?
let's see here. My number 2 is, I'm just going to cherry pick on this one. This one's low-hanging fruit. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Orioles and David Hess.
Oh, yeah. It's an interesting study. Tell me about him.
1-10 on the year with a 7.4 ERA. Granted, nobody on the Orioles is a good pitcher, it seemed like. Even Andrew Kashner, when he was traded to the Red Sox, got moved to the bullpen. So,
All right.
poor guy. But the reason I choose Hess over the others is, it's his second year in the league, but you're supposed to get better, and you're supposed to pitch more, and you're supposed to give up less. He's done the opposite. He's got a higher ERA. You name it, he's got it. A higher ERA, lower innings pitched, more runs given up in less innings pitched, more home runs given up in less innings pitched, more earned runs giving up in less innings pitched. Hitters are hitting 288 off of him. And if you're looking to develop, that's not the right way. And with all the talk, I think I'm getting my pitchers right here. I hope I'm not mixing them up with somebody else. But this was a guy that was talked about a lot. Only 26 years old, still young. I think this is a guy that he really needs to prove that he's one of the pitchers the Orioles need, that they want, or he's gone. And he's not off to a good start. He's only pitched 75 innings this year. So that, with the...
a lot.
Yeah. So the Brewers are, granted, very cruddy offense. But regardless, your offense is not responsible for a 7.4 ERA. So,
Gotta do your part as a pitcher.
once again, that was low-hanging fruit. But
Yeah. Gotta do what you gotta do, pointing out these guys. And
who do you got for your number 2?
My guy is similar as far as not a real... Let me put it this way. I've had my eye on this guy for a few years, and I gotta say this has got to be his most disappointing season. And the fact that he's with a division leader makes it even more so for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about St. Louis's Michael Wacha.
Oh, man. Yes. Yes,
Barely
yes,
qualifies for the
yes.
list. 20 game started, 4.98 ERA, which is still below 5 barely. 112 innings pitched, he's given up 124 hits and 25 home runs with only 96 strikeouts. He hasn't even hit 100 strikeouts for his 112. I don't like that. 10 home runs per 9 rate. Wacha, that's not. What's happened to you, man?
Oh, walk out of here.
Yeah, you're gonna get out of here.
You scared me there for a little bit. That's a good one. Michael Wacha is a good one. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot all about him. But my number 1 is someone. We're not gonna go too far. We're still gonna stay on the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm gonna go with the guy that was at one point. I know, right? At one point considered to be Adam Wainwright's replacement, and he's not showing it. And I'm talking about Miles Mikolas for the Cardinals. My number 1 worst pitcher of the league. Why? Why is that? Why is Miles Mikolas? He's on a division-leading team. Why are you excluding him? Because he has pitched way below his standards. Even worse than David Hess. Even worse than Chris Archer. Even worse than Kikuchi. Even worse than Freeland. I think that one's close. But, in my opinion, way worse than Freeland. He's 8-13. He's got a 4.2. Not terrible, seeing how the division is that he is in. But he's pitched about 40 innings less. Let me put it this way. 2018, 18-4, 2.8 ERA, 200 innings pitched. Only giving up 186 hits. Struck out 146 people. Hitters were hitting 245 off of him. Not bad, but not great. His whip was just a tick above a 1. Very good. Ace-type year. Well-deserved. He pitched like a monster, especially with the year that Wainwright had and Walker was having at that time. Now, let's flash forward to 2019. 8-13, 4.25 ERA, 165 innings pitched, 172 hits. He's given up 78 earned runs compared to the 63 he gave up last year. He has 131 strikeouts compared to the 146 he had last year. Hitters are hitting 270 off of him. 270. You cannot be an ace for a team on a playoff team regardless and then be pitching like this. You can't do it. The Cardinals are ahead for a good reason, and it's not because of Michaelis. It's because of Flaherty. It's because of Hudson. It's because of partially the bullpen, partially these little pixie dust people they got coming out of their minors that keep producing. But Miles Michaelis was expected to be that guy, and he has not been that guy so far. And just because he's on the playoff team is why I put him at the number 1 spot. You expect your pitchers to do very good, and he's not living up to par.
It sounds like he's getting agitated as well because of his poor performance.
Yeah, barking at people for running on the diamond. Ooh. I was going to make that a video too, but I did not do that. I wanted to.
The Braves guy crossing the mound?
I think it was.
Or Cubs?
No, it was Diamondbacks, I believe.
Oh, it was Diamondbacks.
I think. But basically, he got all pissy because someone, when players run off the field, they run in front of the mound and stuff. This player ran slightly on the mound, and apparently that interrupted his safe space, so he barked at him. No punches were thrown, nothing even close to that, but I was just like, dude, just shut up. Okay, if that's really what it's going to take you to get ticked, you got a long way to go, But regardless, I just don't see. Now, I wouldn't throw him on the list at all if he was on a non-playoff team. I really wouldn't. But you're on a first-place team, the Cardinals. You have playoff experience with the Cardinals. You have been on this team with the Cardinals actually, this is the 2nd year. But you've been in the league for 5 years. So you should know what to expect when they say, hey, Adam Wainwright's out, and statistically speaking, you are our best pitcher. We need you to fill his spot. And he did that. Not so much this year. So, that's why I got him at my number 1.
Nice.
I find it funny that we both have Cardinals pitchers at number 1, and yet they're winning the division.
Number 2 is for my guy.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, who's your number 1?
I haven't given my number 1 guy.
Who's your number 1 guy?
And before I do that, I got to do an honorable mention from the same team. I want to bring up Jordan Zimmerman's 0-6, 7.01 ERA, and they're paying him $22 million this year.
Man, Tigers or something else.
But he's not my number 1. My number 1 Tiger and player.
Oh, let me guess.
Go ahead.
Spencer Turnbull.
That's right.
I knew it. Now, you spoke highly of this guy before. It's been a while. But that's why I guessed it. So, fill me in.
Gosh, this guy. I don't get it, man. He's had 26 starts. Lost the pitching line.
Yeah, 3 and 14 is not going to do it.
But most losses in the American League. Again, you can't really count that in. And, 4.68 ERA compared to last year's 6.06. But that was only, 3 games. But, you're going at a little bit better pace, I suppose. He's given up 132 hits, though, in 127 innings. And he's hit 14 batters to lead the league. When you can't have control and you hit 14 batters, man, I don't know. There's something wrong with you in that FIP, man. FIP is horrible. 4.32. And a whip of 1.47. Almost 10 hits per 9 innings.
Yeah.
Almost 4 walks per 9 innings.
And I think that's the same story with, maybe I'm wrong about this, but I think he had the same story as Michaelis. You're expected to be a top-of-the-line pitcher, and he's not doing it. No. Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I've watched him pitch a couple times this year. He's got good stuff. He's got a wicked slider. But as you said, man, I agree with you. That's a good one. I considered Turnbull, but
Okay. What other ones? Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of felt bad for him. He's on the Tigers, you know. That's probably part of the reason. Part of that was pity that I didn't throw him on there, but that's a good one. Yeah. Only 127 innings.
Those Tigers on pace for that 100-loss season plus.
They'll probably have 100 losses before we come back in a couple weeks. So.
Probably.
By the way, no episode next week. We'll probably just replay this one next Saturday. I'll replay it on our Twitch channel, so people can watch it and be caught up for when we come back in a couple weeks. So life has got us both tied next week. So no podcast next week. So I am unfortunate to leave the podcast with this. If you're good, we will go on to this last segment and we will head on out of here. So the St. Louis Cardinals lost a member of their family just yesterday, or, well, if you're watching this on Monday, on the 6th of September. Chris Duncan, player for the Cardinals from 2005 to 2009, I believe, lost his battle with brain cancer, more specifically a tumor of some kind, only 38 years old. So, as I said, he played for the Cardinals from 2005 and 2009. He was part of the 2006 World Series winning team, hitting a home run against the Mets in Game 5 of the NLCS. I believe that was Johan Santana that was pitching at the time. So, not 100% sure on that one, but it looked like him. I couldn't see the name on the back of the jersey. But he also had some RBIs in the World Series against the Detroit Tigers that year. So, to say that he wasn't part of the recipe of why they won would be wrong. He was absolutely a part of why they won the World Series that year. Also hit the last home run at, now I hope I'm saying this right, the Old Busch Stadium. He hit the very last home run before the Cardinals moved into the next. So Chris Duncan passed away at the age of 38 from the deadly thing we know as cancer. So brain cancer. So we're sorry to hear that, and all of us here at the Hot Takes Corner podcast would like to send thoughts, prayers, good vibes, condolences, whatever you want to put to his family and people who played with him. So,
and make him a little more familiar for the older folks, such as geezers like myself. His father is Dave Duncan, a longtime pitching coach, along with the Tony La Russa staff from those Oakland through St. Louis years. So, if you're not familiar with this Duncan, you probably are familiar with Dave.
Dave Duncan, yeah. Yep. So, just a little something to, like Amish said before, we didn't want to start the show off with that, so we just thought we'd end it. So you can take this time to look up whichever you want to look up about Mr. Duncan. So, but other than that, we're gonna wrap it up here this week at the Hot Takes Corner podcast. We are not here, as I said, next week. We are both very busy. We cannot be here. So this will be on replay for next Saturday. So if you want to get, if you're on YouTube watching this, well, you can watch on YouTube. But for maybe the first 4 or 5 days, I think, unless I archive it, it will stay on Twitch. So you could watch on Twitch if you prefer for the next 4 days, just for a rerun. Nothing I could really do about that, sadly. But we would like to thank everyone for watching. If you're watching this on Twitch, thank you for being here live. If you are watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching us on YouTube. If you are...
You're just listening.
Yes.
Yeah, Anchor.
Or any of our other 11 platforms or whatever it is. I get that wrong every week, I think.
We just got lots of platforms.
Yeah, you can find us. You can find us in a lot of places. And we look forward to hearing from you. Everything will be linked in the ending scene, if you will. So we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Good luck to all your respective teams, and we'll see what's going on in a couple weeks.
Yeah, things should be changing by then, huh?
Absolutely. So from here at the Hot Takes Corner podcast, we wish everyone a happy week of September, and we will see you in 2 weeks.